Hello and welcome to Shooting the Shit with Vicky. It's Monday, July 28th, and we're not even going to talk about what time it is. And I'm sorry, not sorry. I can't believe I'm even doing a show today, or whatever this is called, but I had to because you're my people, and I can't live through something so important and not share it with you. And no one's here because I'm so ridiculously late. Piedad. Hello, Piedad. It's just you and me right now. Oh, someone else is here. I am sorry that I'm so ish, but I spent all day today, and I mean all day. I did not eat. I did not get up to go to the bathroom. I did not work out. Hi, honey. Hi, honey. Sounds like I'm talking to my mother. I spent the entire day trying to post a reel, hey Tony, of the wedding to kind of sum it up all in pictures and tell the story, and assembling the pictures from my pictures, some of Snuffy's, thank you Dot, some of Snuffy's pictures, a couple of full-length portraits that both of us missed, and it took me about 4 hours to assemble the pictures. Then it took me about another 4 hours to get a reel that Instagram would put up, because it kept telling me that originally my reel was 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And hi Snuffy. And a reel that long, they won't show it to people other than your friends and followers. Thank you, Tony. That reel isn't a pittance compared to the one I had originally put together. The way you look tonight fit, without my trying, fit perfectly with the pictures I had set up. So when he says the way you wear your hair, it was Samantha touching her hair, and the way, the smile, and she was smiling, and it just hit perfectly. But Instagram told me that I had to cut it down to 90 seconds if I wanted to be able to use that song. And so I started pulling first. Anyway, I was just pulling out pictures, and I kind of told the beginning, middle, and an end, but I did it leaving out so much of the guts. I think I went from 67 original photos down to 33 or something. So what I'm gonna do tonight, I hope, or tomorrow, is make a Facebook post and put all those pictures in order so you can sort of follow along with the story of how the day went, which I will take you through now, and we're really late, I'm sorry. But I'm hoarse, my eyes are really swollen because I haven't stopped crying. And yeah, I've been doing a lot of crying. We've all been doing a lot of crying. Samantha and I cried. It was really hard to get a picture of her when she wasn't crying, but there was so much time when she was so joyful. But leading up to the party, up until the party, there was, I was with her from early in the morning, and it was tears constantly. Not when she was getting made up so much, but a few times then was emotional. But once we got to the venue and I was helping her put on, I'm gonna go there. So, oh, you're so kind, thank you. So yeah, my eyes are really, really swollen. And also I ripped out 3/4 of my eyelashes. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't use a curling iron. I did for years and never had a problem. But I don't know if they make them differently or I'm just older and my eyelashes are fragile. But every time I've tried to use an eyelash curler in the last 5 years, my eyelashes come out. And so I practiced before I went to the venue, and it was fine. And so I took it. Well, I used it on the morning of the wedding, and I saw all of my eyelashes trickling down my face. I mean, literally not all, but I must have lost at least 20, 30 lashes on each side, a lot. And so my eyes are really bizarre. Plus I put on this body makeup for my décolletage and for my arms. And, you know, I had self-tanner going on for a while, but it doesn't cover it. So I put on this body makeup to have like a more even tone. And it's great stuff. And I had tried it once on the 4th of July, and I put it from head to toe that day, including my face. And I got so hot and I almost passed out. And it like seals you in or something. But I wasn't going to use it on my face. And then at the last minute, I wasn't as tan here as I was here. So I put a little on my face. And I think I was allergic to it on my face because my eyes got all swollen. And so I kind of looked like a monster during the wedding pictures. My face was actually distorted and stuff, and I didn't realize it till I took my makeup off. I was like, I would look in the mirror and I like had all this like stuff. I was also wearing way more makeup than I normally wear. And I actually ended up, thank God, Bridget Capel, Samantha's sister-in-law, put these little individual, little tiny little lashes on for me on the top. So I would have some lashes because I took my, but anyway, I look kind of like a monster close up, and hopefully Gil, the photographer, will be very kind when he edits those photographs. Wait, let me see what the pictures were great. Oh, you're welcome, Jim. There's a lot more pictures. Her dress was gorgeous, and yes, she was beautiful. And I'm going to talk about that. Can't tell your eyes are swollen. You look lovely. Oh, thank you, Dot. Oh, thank you, Pia. Wow, that's weird about your eyelashes falling out. I know, it's terrible. I heard the wedding and everything was beautiful and perfect. Thank you, Carol. Yes, it was. Perfect is the word of the day. Today's word is perfect. P, that's a P. Today's letter is P for perfect. Hi, Joni. Hi, Kate. I am the new mother-in-law. Like a princess. Yes, she did look like a princess. I'm starting to well up again. Here we go. In truth, I know I'm her mother, and I'm extremely biased. And I've seen Samantha for 27 years have all kinds of looks and all kinds of good days, bad days, all kinds of ways days. But not only did she have the most gorgeous gown and beautiful makeup and hair, and all of the accoutrements, her gorgeous engagement ring and wedding ring and all of that stuff, but I'm telling you, I don't, oh, somebody sent stars. Thank you, Joni. Thank you for the stars. I appreciate you. Somebody else must have sent stars because there's more up there than just that. I don't know who else sent stars. Snuffy sent stars. Thank you, Snuffy. Where was I going? Oh, yeah. More stars. Thank you, Kate. Most gorgeous wedding gown ever. Yeah, and I'll tell you the story of that. Everyone looked gorgeous. You and Snuffy look. Oh, thank you, Marge. She was the most radiant, stunning, gorgeous, happy, joyful bride I've ever seen. I've never seen, I put up that one picture on, I think it was late Saturday night, of when they were dancing and her smiling. And that smile was kind of, and there's a few other pictures where it's really captured all of that gorgeousness beaming, radiating out of her that day. And everything was perfect about the day. I'm going to talk about it. Oh, I got some more stars. Thank you, honey. Okay, so let's start with the weekend, and I'll sort of work my way through. And it's 5 after 6. Let's see how long it takes me to tell this story. I am still wearing wedding hair 2 days later, 3 days later, whatever it is, because I didn't have time to go do it now, because I've been wearing, and I'm wearing like a weird, I'm like the good humor man. Other than my black shoes, I'm wearing white. I'm wearing all white. My Larry Katz would be proud. My father used to wear all white. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much. So, okay, here was the deal. So Friday was the rehearsal and the rehearsal dinner. And we had Michelle, the pet nanny, come to stay with Rufus. We were going to the hotel. Oh, first Samantha came with Bridget to pick up her gown, which has been in here on and off between the getting it altered, but it's been here for what, 6, 8, I don't know, 4 months. It's been here for a while, and it's had its own closet, basically, own side of the closet in the guest room. And they came, and I was running terribly late. I had planned to pack the night before. We had some drama right before the wedding, actually, because Thursday night, I discovered by chance, by going online, that I was looking at pictures of the venue on their site, and you look cute. I can never wear white. So I was looking at pictures on their site, and I saw that there were round tables with tablecloths, and there were long tables that had no tablecloths. They were just wooden tables. And I was like, wait, what? And handsome groom, and the venue was gorgeous, nice weather, yes. So I was like, wait, what? Because I had just found out the week before that we were no longer going to be at a round table. We were going to be at a long table. And I think I talked to you guys about the fact that originally we were put over on the other side, and I had asked to be our table moved to the side where more of the party was going on, because we're very festive people. We wanted to be in the middle of the festivities. And as it was, you know, Gabe's family was up by the head table, and the Capels were up there, and we were already back because we were a large table. So if we were going to be back, I wanted to be on, you know, where there was a lot of festivities going on. And so that was a thing. And then now we were going to be at a long table, not a round table. We're originally a round table. I'm like, oh, now I find out. I call Samantha and I say, oh, you know, there's no tablecloths on these few weddings that I've looked at. And she said, well, that's the way they do it there. And I got off the phone, but I started to cry, because now we were going to be, me and her grandmother were going to be at a long table, back from the head table, and we weren't going to have a tablecloth. And I was, your grandma and your mother are not going to have a tablecloth, like linens. I didn't get a chance to be part of the linen conversation. I didn't get a chance to be a part of the table conversation. I had nothing to do with the food, as you guys know. Then nothing to do with the flour. Everything Samantha picked, and Tristan. And the only thing that I told you I had input on was the venue, which I found, and then the cake, which I suggested they try because I loved it. Okay, the two things that stuck that were my suggestion, but everything else they did. And I was really concerned about all of that. But the table really freaked me out. And, you know, originally, you know, like my stepson was not going to be sitting with us, and there was all this thing. So Samantha and I had gone through some drama and trauma the week before the wedding, 2 weeks before the wedding, over the table and where it was and who was going to be at it. And now, 2 days before the wedding, 2 nights before the wedding, I'm upset about the fact that we're not going to have a tablecloth. And I'm like, I'll bring one from home. I'm not going to have your grandma and me sitting at a table at your wedding without a tablecloth. And we were measuring how long our tablecloth is and how long their table was going to be. And meanwhile, Harry was Samantha's man of honor. And I have to give a shout out to my son. He was the most extraordinary man of honor I could ever imagine. He took care of his sister and of everything that came up, including this night. I get a call from him. Okay, you can't bother Samantha. We can't do it. I'm gonna take over. What can we do? I'm gonna call the venue. Blah blah blah. And he goes, because Samantha said to me, it's too late to change it. And that's what she had told me about the placement of the table and the shape of the table. And you know, I am a very get in solution person. And just because something has a deadline, that has never troubled me to get in there and dog my way through and change things if they need to be changed. It's just, I'm like a little feisty little thing about that. And about all things, you know, I started a business during the pandemic called In Solution. I wasn't in Solution, I decided I wanted to hang out with Snuffy and I didn't want to work that hard. So I never really saw it through. I did life coach people, not life coach. I I coached people for a few years prior to the pandemic, and I was going to lean my focus to being in solution in any situation in your life where you run into a wall. It's something I'd still really like to do because it's kind of my thing. I love figuring that stuff out. If you're watching the show Patience, she's like a savant who can just put the puzzle pieces together. I'm not about puzzle pieces and figuring out crimes, although I would have been a good detective. I'm a Scorpio, but how to figure out solutions. So Harry, he is like my son, and he's like in solution. He's like, okay, he's calling the venue, he's doing this, and they work it out. And they end up changing the 2 long tables, which we had swapped, and now they're going to be round, and they're going to have linens. And that all got worked out. And you know what? It was trauma and drama that I didn't need to have with my daughter 2 days before her wedding. I didn't need to get upset. But you know what? And I didn't really get upset with her. I was feeling it. I didn't say it, but she knew. And I didn't need that vibe between us before her wedding. But it's really good that I spoke up, because we ended up at a round table being really social with my mother and Ro and my brother and Craig and Avi and son Will and Christopher and Amy. And we ended up having like a really great time, and we had linens, and everybody had linens, and it was all round tables except for the dais, and it looked spectacular. And I want to say right now, Samantha and Tristan did a brilliant job picking out the flowers, picking out the linens. All their decisions were just wonderful. And everything about this day was perfect. It wouldn't have been perfect had I not spoken up. It wouldn't have been perfect for me. Might still have been perfect for them. Wouldn't have been perfect for me. But this way, I believe, by all the people that I spoke to that day, that wedding was the most perfect wedding that anyone had ever attended in terms of, you saw the venue. It's Casa Ciela Vineyards in Camarillo. If you're planning a wedding, you could not pick a more spectacular spot. And I didn't take pictures of the sunset and of and it was large and room to move, and the big expanse. There's a picture of the ceremony, and actually the only picture we got, Samantha's gotten that I know of, I think there were 2. One was of the ceremony. None of us we weren't allowed to have our phones out. No one took pictures during the ceremony. So the only pictures, see, Christopher, my cinder fella, my stepson, I don't like step, my other kid, who has been in my life for 46 years or something, is just saying it was the most perfect wedding, 100%, right? It was perfect. So anyway, I'm like all over the place, but that picture that's of the venue, of them, I mean, not of the venue, of the ceremony, and they're up at the altar, and the bridesmaids and the groomsmen are all there, and the audience is watching. And it's nice on the ice on the audience. I'm actually up there giving my blessings, crying hysterically, and giving my blessings at that moment. There'll be many more pictures to come of all things. That was the other thing. That was perfection. They chose Harry's friend Gil to be the photographer. He did their engagement shots. You've seen those on here. He and his partner, his photography partner, not his husband, did the most spectacular job taking photographs. He was organized. He had a list. They got candids. They got posed. They were doing such creative things, and a lot of the traditional things, but a lot of creative things. I can't wait to see the pictures. They took Samantha and Tristan at sunset, and Craig said to me, I bet he took them. I didn't see Tristan and Samantha at sunset, and Craig said, I bet the photographer's taken them away to do these shots. They did them with my niece and my nephew. Those are going to be the arty shots that we know nothing about, that we'll get to see after the fact, that I can't wait, because Gil is brilliant at them. He is a lovely, lovely person. He was completely unobtrusive and wonderful. I have seen very obnoxious wedding photographers. Gabe and I had a kind of obnoxious wedding photographer, and our videographer lost a whole reel, which I told you guys about, but they were shooting video and seamlessly just throughout the whole day, from in the hotel when we were getting made up in hair, and all through the day and night. They were just glorious. In any case, I don't know how I got off on that. I was telling you about Friday. Oh, I got stars from somebody. Who sent stars? Thank you, Pia. I've missed some comments, I bet, too. I loved your outfit. Oh, thank you, Kate. That's so nice. They did have their first dance song, and it was from Hello, Dolly, and Samantha was Dolly, and it only takes a moment, and it was beautiful. And their first dance was glorious. I see I'm going to cry now. Their first dance, as with everything, was glorious. Everything was glorious. The weather looked amazing. The weather was amazing. The bride and groom beautiful, and the bridal party gorgeous too. Yes. And you know, bridesmaids' gowns always obnoxious. Pics gorgeous. Thank you. You know, they always say, oh, those were really nice. Thanks for sharing all the beautiful pics. It looked like a perfect day. You're welcome. There's many more pics to come. And but anyway, I forgot where I was going again. All right, so I'm gonna roll it back to Friday. So Samantha and Bridget come and they get the gown, and I'm woefully behind because I spent the whole night before really upset about the tablecloth and talking to Harry and trying to figure it out and talking to my therapist and talking to Snuffy and feeling really sad and sorry for myself, but trying to stay in solution, and I'm just gonna bring a tablecloth if all else fails and it'll be okay. It was at Cassie Cielo Vineyards in Camarillo, not Cambria, Camarillo. So anyway, I ended up taking the time that I was going to spend packing, and I didn't pack, and then I had no energy to pack when it was all over because I was so emotionally spent from being all worked up about the wedding and the excitement. And meanwhile, we didn't see Samantha and Tristan the whole week before. Tristan's parents were in town, his sister and brother-in-law, and they were staying over by Samantha. And Samantha did invite me to go to the yoga class with them, but they had things they were doing every night. Samantha was still working, so I didn't see her the whole week. And so and we really didn't talk on the phone. We were texting. And so I really felt detached and sort of out of the loop. Oh, thank you, Jan. So I was already feeling kind of, I don't know, detached, and that was making me, so I was having all of these emotions. And we get up Friday morning, and I still had to pack. I had something else I had to do Friday morning. I can't remember what it was now, but I had something else I had to do. And until it was all said and done, we didn't get out of here until Samantha, way later than I planned. And we had to check into I had done all of this to get early check-in, and they got our room ready early, and we didn't even get there early. We didn't get there till like 2:30 or something. And we needed to head over to the venue by like 3:20 to be on time. Oh, who sent stars? Pia, thank you. We had to get to the venue, and meanwhile, we had to put our clothes on and all of this, and we get there, and I discover as soon as we get there that I did not pack my makeup. Now, I was already made up for the night, but now we were going to have to drive home after the rehearsal dinner and get my makeup for the wedding. Now, it was only 25 minutes away. It's not a big deal, but we purposely took this hotel room so we wouldn't be going back and forth. We had a pet sitter with Rufus. And here I did that. And earlier in the day, and of course, I didn't want to say any of this before the wedding, but we are in the middle of a Mercury retrograde when things can go wrong, and, people cannot show up, and, electrical things can go wrong, and all of this kind of stuff. So I was anxious about all of that. And the day before the wedding, Friday morning, when Samantha was packing up her last minute stuff and I was packing, she couldn't find her garter, her blue garter. She couldn't find the glass to break. I left my makeup and had to go back. But meanwhile, Zoe had told me, my Zoe Moon, my dear friend, I hate that word, dear, I sound so old, but my beloved friend Zoe who is a world-renowned astrologer, had told me Friday morning, that on Saturday there was this period between 3:30 and 6:30 when Uranus was Saturn and blah, blah, and anything unexpected could go wrong, and that things were going to be kind of crazy. Well, between 3:30 and 6:30 is when the ceremony was, when the cocktail hour was, when the dinner started, and I was like, what? No. So I was now, I have very flat hair, sorry. I was now in a panic that the wedding was going to be fucked up. But I said, Zoe, I'm always early. Things always happen early astrologically, like the day before with me or 2 days before. So maybe we already had it because I forgot my makeup and Samantha couldn't find the thing. So I was praying that that was going to take care of it. And I was really anxious. Oh my God, what could go wrong on the wedding day? No, we're in a Mercury retrograde, blah, blah, blah. And oh no, is it bad luck that they got married in a Mercury retrograde? And what does that mean for their marriage and the future? And I was all in that trip. So it turns out, I woke up Saturday morning, and the morning of the wedding, and I'll get back to the rehearsal dinner, and Zoe sent me this long, beautiful text about, she did Samantha's astrology for that particular day, getting married on that day, and what it meant. And all the alignments were like for the first time in 4 years, for the first time in 18 years, for the first time. So it turns out her and Tristan are soulmates, destined to be. It was a perfect day for them to wed. Samantha was going to be at her most beautiful, where Venus was, and love and beauty and all of that. And their union is going to be greater than the sum of its parts, which they put in their vows, but it's really true. They might do something, they may well do something that benefits the world. That it's auspicious for the future and for the commitment to last. And she sent me this beautiful thing, which I will never forget. Zoe's kindness to have done that and to put my heart and my mind at rest, that we were going into this day with all these possible star things. But in any case, so for the rehearsal dinner, for the rehearsal before the dinner, we got there, and Gabe's stepmother wasn't going to be there for the rehearsal because she wasn't getting in till late at night. My mother, here's another thing that happened early the night before. My mother was being driven by my brother Jan, and on the way to the rehearsal, Jan's car broke down. So they were no longer going to make it to the rehearsal. So now, my mother and Marie, who were going to be the first two walking down the aisle, weren't there to rehearse, weren't going to know what to do. And that my mother has, it's tough for my mother to walk anyway. So, I said to Samantha, what about if Harry or one of the guys comes out and helps them walk? And Samantha, to her great, good, wise credit, as she had with everything, said, well, not everything, not the tables, but everything else, said, no, I want them to just walk and have their moment and let it be cute, and if everybody be patient and just enjoy their walk. And that I didn't get to see it yet. I will see it on the video, but I'm sure that's exactly what happened. I asked my mother about it. She didn't remember. She was so concerned with getting down the aisle, I guess. It's just telling me Snuffy Walden is watching. Snuffy Walden is watching. And, So anyway, we had the rehearsal, and my favorite part of the rehearsal is that Harry, who was the man of honor, walked up and down with the best men, not up, but down with one of the best men. There were two best men. And so it was these two big men, both like over 6 feet tall, and Harry at one point was, had Samantha's rehearsal flowers. He was holding while she was doing the ceremony. Thank you, Esther. And it was just all delightful. And they had a lot of attendance. And then we had to go up because we did the 7 blessings, the Orthodox tradition. And so Julie and Scott Capel each did a blessing. Gabe and Vicki Abelson each did a blessing. Harry, Bridget, and my mother was asked to do a blessing. Hi, thank you, Pia. And I knew my mother was no way she was going to get up those stairs to do the blessing, and she didn't want to read hers anyway. So she asked the officiant. Now, I didn't even speak of the officiant yet, Grace, but I really didn't know her yet until later at the dinner. But they had flown in their officiant, who was an old friend of Tristan's, who had become a great friend of Samantha's, and it turned out this was her first wedding. She got her license just so she could marry them. and she did it. There was no Jesus, which I was grateful for. It was non-denominational. My best to you all. Yes, it has been a glorious day. Thank you. I'm starving, by the way. I haven't eaten a thing today. I'm so hungry. It's hitting me now. So in any case, she really didn't say much of what she was going to say the next day, but we had a practice going up because we were each going to go up to do our blessings, and it was a big, long staircase. And, you know, we were all going to be reading, and I knew I was going to be emotional and crying, so it was like a lot. So we did the rehearsal and took a few pictures, and I was an absolute fashion don't for that. And I was wearing this black sparkly thing and big long pants and high heels. And I got to try out and find out that my rectangular heels were going to be fine on the grass. I didn't go through the grass, but those pants were really long, and Grace was the greatest, right, yes, so amazing, right, Christopher? Christopher's bearing witness to everything I'm saying today. Somebody else just gave stars. Thank you, Kate. You guys are so great. And so I'm still on the rehearsal dinner. It's been a half hour. This is going to be a long show. Well, I'm going to try to get through it quicker, but I've told you a lot of the backstory and stuff. So anyway, we did the rehearsal, didn't really get to know Grace very well. And we get to the rehearsal dinner, which is now at, so I was wearing this sequiny thing and these long flowy back pants and these shiny sequiny shoes. And, but my hair was great when we left Los Angeles. By the time I got there, it was flat. I didn't have time to schmutz and redo my hair like I didn't today. So I had flat head for the rehearsal and the rehearsal dinner and whatever pictures those was. And then Snuffy and I decided I should button the top thing, and then it made it like look really shitty. And it was not flattering. And even though I had lost weight, it turned out by the rehearsal dinner day, I had lost like about 10 pounds actually from where I started, and not nearly enough. I have another 10 to 12 to go, but it was at least a start. But I could have made myself look a lot better than I did as far as that goes. I didn't flatter myself. Thank you, Pia. And I'm looking at the pictures and sort of mortified. And then I wore my big black sunglasses. It was really sunny and hot that day, and that didn't help anything either. So I was just a fashion don't for rehearsal. But in any case, we got to the dinner at the hotel, and Julie and Scott hosted a lovely dinner, and there were tables, and originally Samantha told me it was going to be no table assignments, sit wherever you want. So I walked in with that in mind, and then walked in and discovered we had a table, and we were sitting with bridesmaids, and I know two of them very well in a long time and love them madly. Samantha's oldest friend from LA, and her second oldest friend from LA, and then another bridesmaid that I've met a few times who her husband plays with Tristan. And then the officiant, Grace, was going to be sitting next to me, which made me a little uncomfortable because I totally don't know her at all, never had met her. And I thought, oh, what if she's like pious and, you know, I'm not. And then Gabe was going to be sitting across from us at the table. And I thought that was an interesting choice. And, you know, Samantha and Tristan and their brothers and sister-in-law and all of them were at a table. And then Julie and Scott and their parents and my mother were at another table. And then there were other friends at another table, bridesmaids in groups. And I thought, okay, this will be interesting. So, you know what they say, lousy rehearsal, great performance. And yes, that's exactly what happened. So, so Gabe is there, and I thought, okay, you know, we've been more than civil, friendly through the years, and he and Snuffy had met once before, and I decided, I had asked him before if he would bring, Gabe is a mentalist, and he does mentalism, and he does it professionally, and he's been doing it. It's one of the things that contributed to breaking up our marriage, because he was learning how to do it 30 years ago and 25 years ago, and spending so much time on it that he was obsessed with it. But it paid off because it's his career and he's great at it. The dinner was at the Stone House at the Westlake Village Inn, where we were all staying. Many of us were staying, and we had a private room. with its own patio, outdoor bar, which was lovely. And anyway, I said to Gabe as soon as we sat down, oh, I had said, bring your tricks, bring some magic. And he said, I don't do magic. And I know he doesn't do magic. He used to do some magic, but it's mentalism, it's different. And that's usually, what that means is he uses his mind to, he has a couple props along the way. And when he first sat down, he said, oh, I didn't bring anything, but I knew. And I said, why don't you come over here and do something for Snuffy? Well, Gabe got up and started with Snuffy, and he got him to, he guessed who Snuffy's, my door is open, my door shouldn't be open, to guess his favorite person, or somebody that he loves very much. And he guessed by letters, and he knew that anyway, he guessed the right person. And that amazed Snuffy. And then he continued to do, one thing didn't work, and that happens in mentalism sometimes, but he continued to do all this mentalism for Snuffy. And I knew that would lighten the load of the table, and that would bring us all up and make it more comfortable. And then he did some for the girls, and then he did some for the couple. And meanwhile, I started to talk to Grace, and it turned out she was an absolutely delightful, wonderful, wonderful person. I think we're getting a visitor. Are we getting a visitor? I'm still only on rehearsal, and it's 6:30. I gotta really hurry this up. Where is he? Rufus! Rufus! I realized just now the back door is open. Oh, Rufus isn't here yet. Okay. So, anyway, Grace was wonderful. I adored her immediately. Yeah, she was just fantastic, and she was wearing this great outfit, and so not stuffy at all. And I found out it was her first wedding, and she was just terrific. So we had a wonderful time, and the joy was. And Rufus, come here! Rufus, come here! Rufus, it's everybody's waiting for you. Come on, Rufus, come on! Hurry up! Come on! Hurry up! Go around! Hurry up! Come on! I heard that. Sit down. Sit. Oh, here he is. Here's the boy. Here's my boy. I hope you can see him, because I don't think the camera's down low enough. Oh God, I hope you can see Rue. Can you see Rue? Oh, there's the boy. You're such a good boy. You want a cookie? I'm going to give Rufus a cookie and lower this a little so that you can see him. Here you go, Rue. Let's give you a cookie. Oh, shoot. The cookies are way back here. But we'll make that happen. Okay, Rufus. Okay, back here, so everyone can see. Come on. Turn around. Sit. Okay. Here you go. Okay. Now he's kind of out of the picture again, but there's Rufus. So, Rufus. Okay, so, I'm gonna fast forward. The joy started, but I kind of, Samantha and Tristan did not work the room. They stayed with their table. The kids all went out and had shots at one point at the end, and Julie actually had to cut them off because she didn't want them drunk before the wedding. Not that they would have done that, but it was really a lovely evening, and it was very joyful. And Samantha was obviously so happy. Tristan so happy. And I kind of said to her, tomorrow, you guys, you have to work the room at your wedding. And she said, yeah, they're feeding us early so we could work the room. And actually, they never made it to our table at the wedding. They did start to go around. They never got to some of the tables. Everyone looked beautiful and gorgeous, and you and Snuffy looked fabulous. Thank you for showing the beautiful pictures. Congratulations. Oh, thank you, Anita. So in any case, okay, now I'm going to fast forward. Rufus is going to want to... Snuffy! Rufus is going to want to go outside, and I can't do this because I'm going to have to leave. Rufus, I can't do it. Go get Dad. So, the wedding. Okay, I'm going to have to do this really fast, and maybe I'll pick it up next week and finish. But Snuffy and I, after the dinner, we drive home, we pick up my makeup, we go back. Not a lot of sleep, maybe 3 hours of sleep the night before the wedding. Very excited. Snuffy, can you let Rufus out? Yeah. Thank you. Very excited. Didn't get a lot of sleep. Go to the bridal suite, You saw Rufus, good. Went to the bridal suite. I was doing my own makeup. I was having my hair done, which I was a little anxious about. But we all had a blow dryer on here, so I did the top to make sure I had some volume, some height. And then I was going to go right before Samantha. And so all the girls, Samantha got all of them these little blue, navy blue shorty pajamas with white piping. And she got Harry had it too. And she was wearing, which made me really happy, Snuffy and I got her this white satin little shorty outfit that said bride on it in blue. And she was wearing that while she got made up and got ready. There were pictures of it online. And anyway, so I had sent champagne with Harry, and we sent over coffee and croissants, and there was snacks, and I guess Julie had sent over some stuff too, and there were a lot of people in there. There were all the bridesmaids. Julie was there, I was there, the hairdresser was there, the makeup, and then 2 photographers. So all of these people early in the morning getting ready. And so then I had my debacle. I was putting my makeup on in the bathroom, waiting to get my hair done, when I pulled my eyelashes out with the eyelash curler, and then Bridget so wonderfully and kindly gave me eyelashes. She's very talented in the glamour department, and she filled in my lashes, thank goodness. And anyway, so it was a lovely time. I got lost, by the way, getting there, and I was in a sweat, and then I left and forgot something, and I got lost coming back. There was that, but otherwise it went off without a hitch. While Samantha was getting her hair and makeup done, I was so emotional. I didn't really watch her hair. I was talking to someone, but when she was getting her makeup done, oh my God, so emotional. And then we all parted ways they were going to get dressed at the venue, leave and get dressed at the venue. I wanted to get dressed first, not schlep all my stuff. And so I went back to the room. I had 20 minutes, and it took longer, and Snuffy and I got to the venue. There was still one bridesmaid that hadn't gotten there yet, so we didn't hold up rehearsal, but we got to say hello to everybody, and then, not the rehearsal, the pictures. It was for pictures. And it was, the day before it was the day before we got there, and I was afraid we were going to hold things up. We didn't hold things up at all on wedding day. I got there, and Samantha was still in her little pajamas, and it was very sweet because she had waited for me, and I got to have time alone with Samantha, helping her put on her gown, and it meant a lot to me that she wanted her mommy to help her, and I was the only one she wanted in the room. She got everybody else out of there because she was gonna, strip down, and I had done the dress with her before, and it was a very beautiful time that I will never forget. That time with her before she got married, and there were some pictures while she was still in her little thing, and they put the gown on the thing, and it was gorgeous. Took pictures of that. They took all kinds of pictures, and then she put the gown on, and it was the first time I had seen her in the gown with full makeup and hair and with the sleeves on. And I think at the beginning she didn't put them on, actually, the first bunch of pictures. And then came out, and she was going to be doing a first look with her dad because he hadn't seen her in the gown yet. And so first they did a couple pictures with me, and then they put Gabe with his back to her, and I have a whole video of it. How did you keep it together with that alone going on? I did not keep it together. What I neglected to tell you is Samantha and I cried through the entire day. Well, we cried through the entire day. She stopped crying. Well, no, she kept crying. There was crying all day, all night, through everything. But between all the crying, there was exuberant joy and much laughter and happiness. When I tell you this was a perfect day, the weather was perfect. It wasn't hot. There was a little cloud cover until the sun came out, actually about 5 or 6 o'clock. But until then, there was a bit of a cloud cover, so we didn't have the heat we had the day of the rehearsal. I love that so much. I only have boys, so I wouldn't get that experience. Oh, I feel for you. helping your daughter put on a wedding gown. So very important. Yes, it was. And so I didn't keep it together. I don't know what those professional pictures are going to look like because I was crying and snotting and doing all of that all day long. All day long I was breaking out just like I am now, tearing up, except it was more. But in any case, I have the video of her and her dad doing the first look with her dad and Gabe turning around and seeing Samantha for the first time and their moments together afterwards. And then we took pictures with our family and with Harry, and Harry was the greatest man of honor and taking care of her and doing everything he needed to do. And then Tristan was now showing up with his groomsmen. Oh, and then she did the bridal party. She did the bridal party first and all of that. And then Christopher and his groomsmen were going to get shot. And Samantha took some pictures with Tristan's family alone. And then she was gonna do a first look with Tristan. And yes, 74 degrees. It was perfect. It was perfect. And so then I have the whole video of Samantha moving across the vineyard towards Tristan and her putting her hand on his shoulder and him turning around. And the moment that he saw her for the first time, and all of those moments, and them looking at each other and both crying and hugging and being so in love and so happy. And it was all happy tears. It was all over. The emotions just so huge. The emotions have been so huge. And watching them, and oh my God. So I have that video too, and I don't know if I'm going to put them up. Maybe I'll put them up on TikTok or something. Or maybe I'll slow roll them out on Instagram. I don't know. They're probably each about a minute and a half or something. The Tristan one's probably longer. And so they did their first look, and then they took all their photos with their whole bridal party and with both sides of the family, and then the whole family. And Snuffy was part of that too, which was really wonderful. And he and Gabe were chatting all through the day, which was really lovely. And then the guests started to arrive, and it was time to do the wedding. And Samantha had requested that Craig, who is a Hollywood costumer, he's been a professional costumer for so many years, and he's the one that helped style me that day and so many times before, and has been such an important part of my life and my kids too. And she wanted him to come and make sure that her train was perfect before we walked down the aisle, the grass. And so anyway, the procession starts, and we're of course the last to go. And I don't know what happened before us because I couldn't see anything. And I didn't even know what it looked like in there now that it was set up. You know, I hadn't seen the chuppah and the flowers and the rose petals. I hadn't seen any of that yet. And we're about to walk down, and we come out, and it's a, kind of a long walk, and there's everybody, and we're holding on to Samantha, and she, has that huge gown and the big train and don't want to step on it. And so we walk down the aisle, and then all of a sudden we get there, and there's all the people, that are the guests. And, I saw like two people. I was so focused on Samantha that I really couldn't tell who was there, but I just knew there were people. And we get to the bottom, and then Tristan comes down, and Grace says a few things, and then she said, "And who gives this woman to this man?" And we said, "We do." And then Gabe literally she kissed us both, and Gabe literally gave her hand to Tristan. Oh, I'm never going to get through this. And he walked her up the stairs. And then Grace proceeded to do this beautiful ceremony, just beautiful. And Samantha and Tristan read their vows to each other, and I found out today that Tristan had left out a page of his, and he didn't even realize it. And until Samantha started saying her vows, and then he said, "Oh, I had something about kids too." And so this morning he read her his vows again with that page in there. And but anyway, they read beautiful vows to each other, which echoed each other's sentiments so closely. Single mother of one seeking for real love and a kind man. So it was just so magnificent. It just couldn't have been more perfect and beautiful. And everything that Grace, the officiant, said, everything that Samantha said to Tristan, Tristan said to Samantha, just perfect. And the way it looked with the bridesmaids and the groomsmen. And, you know, I'm crying, Gabe's crying. I think Snuffy was crying. Harry said he had to keep, I didn't see Harry crying, but I guess he was turning away. And then it was time for the 7 blessings. I think she pronounced them man and wife first, and he stepped on the glass and all of the wonderful stuff, and they exchanged rings. And then, you're not crying. I'm glad you're not crying, Kate. And then it was time for the blessings. And I knew that Julie was going first, her mother-in-law. And then I was, oh, thank you, Lynn. I know you've been there recently, a year ago, almost exactly, right? And Julie went up to read her blessings to Harry and Samantha, to Samantha and Tristan. And I knew there was no way, coming from an enormous family, I have 2 more weddings in my life, more weddings that I can count, and speaking fruitfully, truthfully, I have never seen a groom gushing over the bride the way Tristan was in the photo taken by the tree. What an absolutely, oh God, what did I do? How do I turn it back around? What did I do? Jesus. Thank you. Oh shit, now I lost the comments. I have never seen him look, what an absolutely beautiful moment it was. My daughter is getting married in September. In Italy, I'm feeling all of your feelings as deep right now. Good for you. Savor every moment. It's so incredible. So anyway, Julie went up, and then I had to go up. And I knew I was going to cry my way through it. I had my page to read my blessings from. Samantha told me I couldn't use my phone. I had to have it on paper, no phones. I started to read, and I sobbed my way through my blessings. I managed to get them out. I think I was the only person that actually thumpered on one of my blessings. I think I left out a word or said the wrong word or something. I did that in the toast too. I was so emotional, but I got it out. And somebody had said, don't look at them and you won't cry, or look over their heads. No, I looked right at them. I looked at Samantha and I looked at Tristan as much as I could between looking at what I had to say. And it was beautiful. It was just beautiful. And then after me, Scott went, the father of the groom, and then Gabe went, and then Bridget went, and then Harry. And Harry was, of course, moving and beautiful and also funny. And then the last blessing was from my mother, from Grandma Honey. And I had no idea what she had written, and I had no idea what Grace was going to say. And she said, from Grandma Honey, a blessing on your head, mazel tov, mazel. She did the line from Fiddler on the Roof. Oh my God. And it was perfect. It was perfect. And they came down the stairs, and they were so cool. They kissed and did all of that and came down the stairs. And he dipped her and kissed her, and it was so gorgeous. And by the way, during the ceremony, I had Snuffy on one side of me and Gabe on the other, and I held on to both of them. We held on to each other, and Gabe and I held on to each other, and it was lovely that the 3 of us were able to have that experience together. And when it came time for us, and then the brides and groom, the attendants came down the stairs, and then again Harry and the best man, which I love. And then it was time for Julie and Scott and Gabe and I and Snuffy to walk down, but Snuffy stayed behind and wanted Gabe and I to have that moment and just had us walk down, and it was thoughtful of him. I wish he would have come with us, but and so we get out of the thing. And we're standing there, and now all the people are coming up behind me, and I turn around to say hello to the person right behind me, and now I have to say hello to everybody. So I stand there. It wasn't supposed to be a receiving line, but they ended up not having a receiving line, so I was really glad that I did. I stood there, and I had a moment and a hug and a hello with every single guest as they went by me to go into the cocktail hour. And it was lovely to have that time and to say a personal hello and hug with each person, meet the people that I didn't know. There were a few friends that I did not know at all, quite a few of Tristan's friends, and a couple of Samantha's friends from law school that I didn't know. I knew most of them. But it was just a lovely way to spend a few minutes to just really greet everybody. And then there was the cocktail hour, and Michelle Coltrane, who's Tristan plays with, John Coltrane's daughter, who John was Tristan's hero, and Snuffy introduced Michelle and Tristan, and it's ended up being this mad love. And he plays with her all over the country, and just went to Connecticut with her, and she's really kind of adopted him into her family as well. And I had only met her once, the day that Tristan met her, and hadn't seen her since. And we reconnected. She didn't know that Snuffy and I were together, and we had this lovely conversation, but it was all around, she was drinking a spicy margarita, and I said, wow, that looks really good. And so I guess there's a spice that I cannot remember the name of, but it's cayenne and something else and salt, and it's red, and it goes around the rim of a margarita. And I said, God, that looks good. So I went over to the bar, and I had them. She wanted me to taste the spice, and she got some in the palm of my hand. I said, I have to have that. So then all of us sober people, and there were a bunch of us, started drinking these mock spicy margaritas. And so the cocktail hour was lovely, and Samantha and Tristan were off for a bit to have their time alone. What is it called? What? Not Tajin. Thank you. It's called Tajin. Yes, it was Tajin. And I love the Tajin, and I have to buy some. So the cocktail hour was lovely, and then we went into the dinner, and the space was just set up so magically and beautifully and wonderfly, and there were twinkle lights for at night, and it was still daylight, and the sun had now come out, and they did the first dance, and it was, in this moment, yeah, that song from Hello Dolly. I wanted all day to hear the story. I've been crying so much. I will sleep like a baby. It sounds like a wonderful time, and everyone was so beautiful. Yes, it was. So they do their first dance, and then and it's beautiful, and he dips her, and they kiss, and they're so in love, and she's so joyful, you saw in the picture. And then they do the father-daughter dance, and Gabe and her were just beautiful together. And she had them play Vienna, the Billy Joel song, because it's a song that she shares history with her dad with, and she wanted to surprise him with that. And so that was so beautiful. Yes, he broke the glass. I did say that already. And then Tristan danced with his mother, and they danced to a country song that I didn't know, but I guess that's something special between them. And then they started the day. Oh, and then we did a hora, and they put them up in the chairs, and there were all these people lifting Tristan, and only Harry and a couple of people lifting Samantha, and Harry had like the bulk of Samantha, and so she was kind of, but that was really wonderful. Everybody was on the floor for the hora, and then they did start. Then there was dinner and conversation, and then the dancing started afterwards. And my kids know, oh no, there were toasts in there. Okay, so now Gabe, my husband, was the head monologue writer for David Letterman, and worked on The Tonight Show for Jay Leno, on Politically Incorrect for Bill Maher, The Tom Green Show. Gabe is a very, very funny man. He is a professional comedian. He was my stand-up comedy teacher. That's how we met. And Gabe, they call up first, and I'm like, what are you, crazy? And I know he's got like a 4 or 5 minute speech, and he's gonna be first. And I said, I know that. I turned to Snuffy, I guarantee you I'm going to end up having to follow him. And sure, Gabe was brilliant. He was so funny and also so moving and heartfelt. And he gave really specific instances and he talked about everyone. And it was just a fabulous, he was just fabulous and mostly hysterically funny and very heartfelt. And by the way, Gabe was crying as much as I was all day, all night, and still. And he's a very sensitive guy too, and so very emotional for him as well. And so Gabe finishes, and you know, thunderous applause. And now the mother of the bride, and I'm like, oh shit, you know, I have to follow. I didn't say oh shit out loud. I was just like, of course. And as I'm getting up, I'm saying, of course I have to follow him. And I get up and I say, okay, what he said. And it was like, am I really going to have to follow that? And I only had a 2-minute and 25-second little speech, and I knew Harry had a 6-minute speech, and Gabe had I had this little thing this little toast, but it went very well. I did fumble for one joke, but I had my moments, and I got some laughs, and it went pretty well. But following Gabe, so I come down and he goes, you got an applause break. I didn't get an applause break. I got an applause break because I was talking about Samantha. They were clapping for Samantha, not for me. But in any case, then it was done, and then Julie did hers, and Scott and Bridget, and then Harry Harry was so funny and also beautifully heartfelt, but so funny. And he and Samantha share so many things, and he brought up almost all of them, and it was just fabulous. And with equal time for Tristan, and then Tristan's 2 best men spoke, and they were wonderful. And then what I wanted to get to, and then the dancing started, and these kids know the words to every single song. My kids and all of the bridesmaids and groomsmen and young guests, the words to every single song, and they know the appropriate choreography. And so all of that started, and they were all out there singing and dancing, and just, it was so joyful and so wonderful and such a great party. And it was just gorgeous out, and I thought it was going to get cold, and they had heat lamps. It was perfect. And then the dessert, then they did the wedding cake, which was a marble cake from Susie Cakes, which was my pick, and it's so excellent. It was so, well, they picked it, but I suggested it, and it was so. And then they had this dessert, an ice cream bar, and there was ice cream and hot fudge and hot caramel and all of the toppings, M&Ms and gummy bears and all of that stuff. And so I take a piece of cake and put ice cream on it because I saw Harry do it, and then put some hot fudge and caramel. And it kind of ruined the cake because it overwhelmed the cake. So I didn't really, but it was just so decadent. And they had these great cookies before. And there was a photo booth. So I don't know if I think I included one of my photo, but there was a photo booth, and there were all these hats and different things you could play with. And so I went in there 4 times with different combinations, and everyone was kind of going in there, and you could either have them texted to you or you got the physical thing with Samantha and Tristan on it and the date, and that was so fun. And then when it was time for them to go, they were taking an Uber because they wanted to be able to drink, although they were not loaded at all. We all had sparklers and paved the way, and then they came down, and he gave her a dip again. She had, by the way, changed into, for the dancing part, this little tiny little white thing she had worn at her bachelorette party. And we sent them off with sparklers. He dipped her again, they kissed, and they went off in their Uber. And that was the end of the wedding. And it was absolutely amazing. And so we had eaten dinner at like 6 o'clock, I guess it was. It's been lovely watching Samantha through the years. From her theater triumphs, you're going to make me cry now. Her hilarious turn as Mrs. Hannigan in Annie, to her law accolades now to a beautiful bride. Even though I've never met her, I feel like I know her. Please send my warmest wishes. That's so beautiful. Thank you, Pam. Snuffy and I got back to the kids ended up going to a club, and then they went to what's the burger? I can't even think of what it's called. They went to get burgers at the best burger place in California. What is it called? I can't even think. Fast food burgers. And then they went to Bridget's hotel room, and they had a long after party, and Snuffy and I went back to our room, and we started, I was totally buzzing and everything, and we were talking, and we were looking at pictures, and we started watching some TV, and now I'm starving. And I always bring snacks when we travel. I did not bring any snacks because I was dieting, so I had no snacks, nothing. There was no Friggy Bar and snacks in the hotel. In-N-Out, thank you, Christopher, who's not from California. Loved Tristan's mom's gown, very beautiful indeed it was. And where was I going? I thought everybody just looked magnificent. I was started to say before, the bridesmaids' gowns that normally are hideous, and you always say, oh yeah, you can wear it again, and no one ever does. These, you can't tell from these pictures, they had a big slit up the front. And so the girls had a lot of leg going on, and it made the dress so current and sexy and wonderful. And you just can't tell from the pictures when they're bending over and doing stuff like that. But the girls really looked gorgeous. And the color was perfect, and all the navy blue, and it turned out most of the men guests were wearing navy blue suits as well. Snuffy was with a navy blue shirt, and Craig was, and a lot of navy blue, and it looked fabulous on everyone. Gabe was wearing navy blue. Everybody looked great. And her father and Gabe and I had a black and white wedding. All our guests, we asked them to wear black and white, a formal wedding, and it makes the pictures look really nice. And so their picture's gonna look great because most people, it seems, are in navy and pink and stuff. It was great. So anyway, I was starving, and it's now 3 a.m, and the room service is shut down, and we're looking at Uber Eats. We need Uber Eats, and we ended up eating McDonald's at 3:30 in the morning. I haven't had a McDonald's in about 20 years, and here I am eating a double cheeseburger and French fries. And meanwhile, I've been really good dieting, and so I'm eating a double cheeseburger and French fries at 3:30 in the morning, the night of my daughter's wedding, and so that's what we did that night. Then we got up and checked out of the room and went over to the lovely Mediterraneo restaurant there, and Scott and Julie hosted a lovely brunch, and we got there and we had some nice coffee. We were early, we sat down, we waited. Scott and Julie got there, and then Gabe and Harry got there, and his sister and in-law, anyway, and then Samantha and Tristan ended up sitting. Samantha sat right next to me, Tristan next to his mother, and we had this lovely brunch. It was delicious. And then Samantha and Tristan were going to spend the day at the hotel with the Capels, who were going to be leaving today, who did leave today, and they were going to go to the pool and stuff. And so Snuffy and I were making our way back home, and I've been talking a really long time, but as soon as we got in the car, this incredible stream of emotions just flooded me. And I had made jokes in my toast about, giving my daughter away and wanting to keep her, and, the fact that she was changing her name. And here it was real. Samantha had she already had her Instagram handle and her Facebook, Samantha Ray Abelson went to Samantha Capel. And the reality of all of it, and it was just a lot. And now it was also, after you plan something for a long time and then you live it, there's sort of that anticlimax letdown when it's over. It's like, okay, now what? My whole life's purpose has been this for so long, and we've built to this for so long, and now it's in the rear view. Now what? And oh my God, I gave away my daughter. And it's not that I gave away my daughter, but you chose the perfect outfit to wear for the wedding, and Snuffy, dang, looking so dressed up. You both look stunning. And oh, thank you. So you do give away your child, though, because once this union becomes this legal thing, a relationship does change, and they are into the next phase of their life together. And there's something, once you make that commitment to another human being, that relationship becomes the most important thing, and as it should be. And Tristan, and yes, I did gain a son, and my joke was, now he's got to call me mommy, and I've perpetuated that joke on and on and on for the last few days. But Tristan is wonderful, and the love they have refallen so deeply in love with each other, and it's so visible how much they adore each other and how good they are for each other, how committed they are to each other. Thank you, Lynn. And I did gain a son, absolutely, and there's no doubt. But you know, sons are different than daughters. Even Harry and I are very, very close. But it's there. My relationship with Harry and Samantha, I would say, is very balanced. Historically, sons and daughters are different because daughters stay close and daughters are more communicative and daughters are more involved in familiar relationships. Sons, you know, tend to be distracted by work and other things, although Samantha has a huge workload and went back to work today, actually. You know, I'm not good at sharing. I was never one, you know, I was always a one guy woman and wanted a one woman man. And, you know, I'm not a good sharer. And this whole thing with, okay, you know, another mom, you know, why, you know, and Julie could not be lovelier and could not treat my daughter better, could not. I mean, the Capels are the most generous and lovely people, and they have been so good to Samantha from the moment Tristan and Samantha started dating. Don't think of it as giving up your daughter as getting another musician. That's right. Yes, I did get another musician. You know, they've taken her to Europe twice. There's a trip to Japan that's going to happen. They shower them in gifts and every restaurant they want to go to, every play they want to, you know, just everything, you know, and do things that for Samantha that I can't do. And so there's a little bit of me feeling a little bit like Kristen Wiig here in Bridesmaids, which was one of Harry's best jokes. It was his closer last night at the toast. But I was feeling kind of like Kristen Wiig and like, you know, I can't. She married up, and I couldn't be happier about that because she is going to be so well loved and cared for, and she could have married somebody and been taken down. She's going to be lifted up. She deserves to be treated like a queen, and she absolutely is. And I want all that for my daughter. I want everything wonderful for her, but I also want to be her mommy. And so it's kind of like this very intense emotional thing. And I think all of us Abelsons are feeling it because we watched her give up the name. So now it's us three Abelsons, and she's a Capel, which is a little heart-wrenching. Even though we understand it and we embrace it, it's still a little heart-wrenching. And, you know, this split, you know, of the holidays, which has already started, you know, they Christmas with the Capels and all of that, you know, was a difficult thing to get used to. And I'm sure there'll be more and more of this and that. And hopefully we'll all come together with Mishpacha and we'll do more as a big family with all of us. We all get along great, which is wonderful. And now Gabe, you know, Gabe and Snuffy friended each other on Facebook and really have said beautiful things about each other. And I said to Snuffy earlier today, well, now that, you know, you guys are kind of friends, maybe we can have holidays together. And he said, sure. And I told Gabe, and it kind of made Harry cry. And I told Samantha today. And anyway, I got to talk to Samantha today, and I wasn't going to tell her about these feelings I was having, but I felt like I just needed to say it in a gentle way. And I did. And she was just beautiful and let me know that we are irreplaceable to her, which I kind of just needed to be reassured, I guess. And as wonderful as all of that is, and all shiny and new and generous and gorgeous and big, that we are still the history, right? I changed my middle name to my maiden name to carry on my father's name. Yeah, I didn't carry on my father's name, but I kept Keats, which was my professional name. But anyway, I became an Abelson because when I wasn't an Abelson when Gabe and I got married, but when Harry was born, they needed the names on the birth certificate. Anyway, I legally changed my name to Abelson then. You will always be on her birth certificate. Yeah, that's a whole confusing thing, because when they ask your mother's maiden name, I'm really Katz, but I'm legally Keats, and no, that's a whole thing. My parents had 3 daughters. I changed my middle name to my maiden name to carry on my father's name. Yeah, I did that in a boarded way. I'm Vicky Keats Abelson, which was what I came in with. Yes. So it's just, Gabe, Harry, and I are all having, I think a lot of emotions. I think everybody is. Samantha and Tristan are, what she said, have been crying, and I'm sure the Capels, I've been in touch with Julie and Scott, and I know they're having their feelings, and special moments like this tend to bring people close. I think that's true. Edelman is your maiden name. Wow, nice. So anyway, just feeling a lot of feelings, and the main feeling is just exuberant joy that my daughter got to have the man of her dreams, the wedding of her dreams. She was the bride of any groom's dream, I'm sure, and Tristan's absolutely. It was a perfect day for everybody who attended, from start to finish. A memory we will always all share and cherish. And that's a win. That's a win. So, yes, I gave away my daughter, but I'm going to keep her in all the ways that I can. And she's a good one. And I know that I'm a mess. I know that she'll stay close, and to all of us, new and old. And I'll be the Kristen Wiig jalopy that can't do all the things that I wish I could do for her, but the thing that I can always do for her, that I do for her every day, is love her more than life. And yeah. So, with that, 2 hours later, you've now shared my entire journey, including my emotional mess in there. And thank you. I didn't want to do it. I thought, what am I going to do a show today for? This is crazy. I'm so tired. Last night I slept like not enough. And I haven't eaten a thing all day. I've only had 1 can of water, of LaCroix, and I haven't even finished it. But I just needed to come on and talk to you guys and share it with you, because you've been with me through everything these last years. And by the way, no feathers, you may notice, not even in my ears. I've been wearing glitzy earrings the last few days. And I took them out of my hair to look better. Who just sent me those stars? Oh, Laura, thank you. That's so sweet. Tristan and Samantha will not be moving too far from you. Well, they live on the other side of town, and I think we'll probably continue to. Thank you for continuing. Beautiful wedding. Congrats. Thank you, Pia. Thank you, Laura. You are precious. Thank you for sharing these beautiful moments. Oh, so are you, Lynn. Thank you. So, you're not done crying yet. Whoops. You're not done crying yet. Wait for the phone and videos. You're a fabulous. I enjoyed every minute of this show. I felt like we were experiencing it with you. You are. You will always be close. My daughter has been married 30 years, and they live in Georgia, but we are still close and still do mother and daughter trips. Hope you feel better soon. Sending virtual hugs. Oh, sweet. Just wait until the grandbabies come. I know. I can't wait. Thank you, honey. I didn't even notice no feathers, right? So, in any case, I needed to bring you guys along with me, because you've been along with me for everything, for all this time, and you are important to me, and you are my family too. And so you've watched Samantha through me all these years, and I know that you, hi Sonia, I hope that you saw this, Sonia, so now you got the whole story and the pictures are on Facebook. Grandbabies, yes, we're there. I think it'll be at least 3 years. Samantha has another year of law school, and she needs to work for a couple of years before they do that, but she's young and they've got time. And anyway, thank you all for always being so supportive and so loving and so there for me and showing up all the time and looking at the pictures and liking them and loving me and liking me, and it means the world. And so there's no game changers this week. I'm taking this week and next week off before I get back to that. Got other business, friends coming in from out of town, and this Wednesday, my Cinder fellow Christopher and his wife Amy are in town. We're going to take all the kids to salsa and beer, including Samantha and Tristan, before they go off on their Hawaiian honeymoon. And so there's a lot more mazel and joy to come, and have a wonderful evening. I'm going to eat my Sunfare and try to keep it under 500 calories today to lose. I gained a couple pounds over the weekend back, so they got to go today. And I love you all. I will see you next Monday, but I will be on Facebook all week posting pictures, no doubt. So have a wonderful evening. Thanks for being with me, and I'll see you soon.